amiibo!
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 79 of Nintendo Unleashed. We be old men now.
Oh yes, we are aging quickly, approaching death. Death that was just around the corner.
Yes, so
Terrifying.
Today I'm Conor and I am joined by Noah.
That's me.
And unfortunately Arms couldn't make it because he's currently touring the Jiffy Pop factory because he went there to complain that his Jiffy Pop only popped like 5 kernels and they just gave him a tour of the factory. So he's unable to join us because of that. However, he wanted me to tell you guys he's hyped that Ash might win the Kalos Pokemon League. Sorry for the spoilers, but he wanted me to tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Now, as someone who has no idea about the history of the Pokemon anime, has Ash ever won like a league?
No.
Oh, so this would be his first. Does he just give up? How does it happen?
Basically what the Kalos League, or the Pokemon Leagues are in the anime is there's like a tournament you have to do before the Elite Four.
Okay.
And he always ends up losing. I think Sinnoh was the closest he ever got to winning, but someone had brought like Darkrai and Latios or something and killed him.
Is it possible that he'll win this but then lose against the Elite Four?
Yes.
Okay, that's probably what'll happen, I guess.
And I don't know if he loses to the Elite Four, if he like gets a second chance, or if he has to wait till next year. Because the other thing is the Pokemon League only happens once a year in the anime. So I have no idea.
Right.
I haven't fully watched a Pokemon series besides Origin ever. So, and Origin is closer to the games.
Right.
So I have no idea. I just know the basic stuff.
Anyway, so that's the thing that's happening. Hopefully Armando kind of his wish fulfilled, and also hopefully he gets a free sample of Jiffy Pop for his troubles. I really feel him there. Big popcorn fan.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we have some dang topics this week.
Oh, absolutely. Tons of Pokemon stuff.
Yeah. And you know how Amiibo used to be our thing we always talked about, and now Pokemon is?
Yeah.
Well, this week we have stuff on both.
Oh.
I know.
Man, this is Unleashed really just coming into its own, you know? This
if only
is the true form.
If only we had NX rumors to talk about.
Oh my god, that would be the ultimate trifecta. Unfortunately, there's nothing this week, which is kind of weird.
There probably was some crap posted on 4chan, but no one cared.
Nothing important.
And before that's actually a legit. Well, I mean, there was that patent, but I didn't feel like we should add it because really it was a patent basically talking about stuff the Eurogamer leak had.
It was nothing new.
Yeah, it was just the detachable controller. So Nintendo's a patent for that now. So
right, which basically. I mean, obviously not all patents get used. A lot of them don't, but like that, that gives some more credibility to their.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna go into what we're playing this week. Connor, what have you been playing?
I'm still playing through Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Nice. Also
playing Love Live as much as K-Lab apparently doesn't want anyone to be playing. I still am playing, and I also got. Ratchet & Clank 2016 from the library, and I think I've almost beat that. It's a fairly short game. I just say that because so far there's like this group of hidden trophies, and every time you finish a planet, you get a trophy from there, and I have 2 left, I think.
Oh, okay.
So that's just why I'm assuming. I assume the final planet will still give you one.
Is this your first time playing Dark Moon?
No, I'm replaying it.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, that is a very good game.
Yeah, it is.
Federation Forces will maybe, I don't know. I mean, preview stuff is starting to happen for that game. And I forget when it comes out, but it comes out sometime this month. I think within like the next 10 days maybe. So hopefully expect reviews at least a few days before. If not, that's generally a bad sign. But we'll see. Hopefully Nintendo is confident enough in it to open up reviews early. Assuming it's good. We really don't know. At least about the full quality of the game. I've played. I think the controls are good. Blast Ball I don't think is the best thing ever, but I think at least the controls are good. But anyway, I've been playing. It's been a crazy week because first I got back from vacation, then I had to just read this book the whole week because I have so much schoolwork to do before school starts on the 29th. So I just finished one of those books. But I've been playing Pokemon Go on and off, and mostly Zero Time Dilemma. The game is just continuing to screw my mind. Like with these games, like a lot of the mind screws happen in like not even the second half, but like the final third of the game. Because the games are really character driven, and like the revelations about the characters are just what make you like so many emotions. So I'm getting pretty close to the end of that game. I think. I'm at least, like I said, 2/3 of the way through. So hopefully I'll be able to finish that before school. And that's all I've been playing. I'm actually. I've got family coming this weekend, and I'll probably. I always like to try to play multiplayer games with family, so kind of looking into the future. Hopefully, I'll play maybe like Nintendo Land. And there's this other game on PC that came out called Overcooked, and I don't really know much about it. I just know it involves food, and I like food and cooperative video games. So I might check that out. The only question is whether on PC I can play it using a keyboard with multiple people because it has local, or I don't know if I need multiple controllers, but that's on the radar. So, yeah. And so I'm going to dive right into the Nintendo download for this week. There's some pretty great stuff on here from the looks of it. First on the Wii U eShop, Tadpole Trouble, which is a game which was on Kickstarter coming to Wii U. And it's actually from the creator of Brawl in the Family, which I believe was like a comic that I actually never really got into, but I've heard a lot about.
Oh, it was a great comic.
And this game it's interesting. It's like a rhythm action game thing. The gameplay looks pretty all right, but what I really love, like the visual style, obviously coming from a comic creator, it looks really nice. So it's $10. If you like rhythm games and that guy's art style, I would check it out. Early impressions have all been positive. On the Wii U Virtual Console, there's Mario Sports Mix, which is a Wii game for $20, and Wave Race 64 for $10, both of which are great games. Wave Race 64 is highly regarded as one of the most memorable N64 games. People just love the water physics in that game. Mario Sports Mix is pretty good. It didn't go as in-depth with the sports since there were 4 of them, but I remember I rented that game back in the GameFly days, and I enjoyed it.
Hey, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, and it has. It did have online, but the services definitely still don't work. At least I would assume they don't work.
There's also Final Fantasy characters in it for some reason.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was weird. I guess Square Enix co-developed it or something.
And I think Dragon Quest, because I'm pretty sure Slime's in it.
And on 3DS, speaking of slimes, Ambition of the Slimes.
Yay.
Woo! From Circle Entertainment. And on new 3DS Virtual Console, Mega Man X, which is regarded as one of the best games in the series, or at least one of those with the most impact. So if you have a new 3DS, definitely check that out. And of course, Disney Art Academy demo on the 3DS, so that's pretty great. Themes, no themes this week. If I was to assign a pick of the week, I would say either Wave Race or Mario Sports Mix. I haven't played Wave Race, but I have played Sports Mix. I heard a lot of good things about Wave Race, though. What do you think? Have you played Wave Race?
I haven't. I'd just
okay.
Go with Mario Sports Mix.
All right. Yeah, we're just going to go with that because, we've both played it,
and it's good. It's not like we're just picking the one thing we both played, and
it's not trash. And it has, I'm trying to think what it has. It has basketball, ice hockey,
dodgeball, hockey, and
volleyball. Okay, yeah. So if you like those sports, then probably check it out.
Good time to play with the Olympics.
Oh, good point. And maybe that would be a good game for me to download for my family thing, even though it's $20, which is a little bit steep, it feels like, but whatever. It's a good game anyway. And I think it has simple controls, right? Isn't it just like Wii Remote Sideways? Like nothing complicated with that.
I think you have the choice between Wii Remote Sideways and Wii Remote Nunchuck.
Okay.
I haven't played it in a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like 2010. But anyway, so moving on to some news. Yeah, some Nintendo takedowns this week. Your obligatory Nintendo takedowns. So the Nintendo Power Archive, which we talked about last week, actually not all, but most of the Nintendo Power issues were listed online or archived
I
online.
think it was
Um,
everything from the start to 2002 or
mhm.
2003.
So those were online. Those were free. That was great. But they were taken down by Nintendo. And the Metroid 2 fan remake, which was called, I think, Another Metroid 2 Remake, was also taken down, which we didn't even talk about last week. And that was apparently I had heard rumblings about it, but didn't really know when it was going to release. But it kind of dropped midweek and then was taken down a few days later.
I think it dropped on Metroid's anniversary.
Oh, right. And a lot of people were very happy about that, where Nintendo was tweeting about sticks in Mario and Sonic and dealing with the games.
And National Cat Day.
Oh, yeah, of course.
At least Sonic mentioned Metroid's anniversary.
Oh, yeah, that's true. On Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, it was a reply to someone.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so those both things were taken down. I'm guess for legal reasons. I'm not really sure about the legal specifics of that kind of thing.
I can see the Metroid 2 thing because they are offering Metroid 2 on 3DS Virtual Console. But
Yeah.
Nintendo Power, there's like no way to get that right now.
Exactly.
Unless you buy it secondhand, which Nintendo's not making money off of anyway. If they were selling them through e-readers or something, I could see it.
But they're not even selling them.
Yeah, why do they care?
I saw someone talking about how maybe they were still releasing like some sort of guides or something under like a similar name or label or something. I don't really know though. So that one I can't speak with too much confidence about. That one doesn't really make as much sense to me. I'm sure there's something we don't know about. But the Metroid one is, it's more clear kind of why that happened. Now, what was interesting is that the creators sort of told people not to get angry at Nintendo and to actually like vote with their wallets, like buy Metroid 2 on the 3DS eShop. And actually, what's interesting is it's one of the My Nintendo rewards right now. It's only it's 30 gold coins, and even though I was complaining about those a while ago, I actually ended up snapping that up. Haven't played it yet though. But if you do have My Nintendo and you have 30 gold coins and you want to support the future of Metroid, I would assume that Nintendo is able to see which games are the most popular on My Nintendo.
Yeah, probably.
Like based on the number of downloads. So that's one way to show support. And if you don't have My Nintendo, I think it's only like $4 on the 3DS eShop. And it's, obviously it doesn't hold up quite as well as some other games because it's a Game Boy game. But it's still a good game in its own right. And the remake did it a lot of justice.
Nintendo's taking it down because they're actually planning their own remake.
That would be good. I think a lot of people would definitely buy that. I think that's what a lot of Metroid fans would want right now, as
Maybe
opposed
Nintendo's
to
going to be like Sega, and they're just going to get that guy to port it.
Oh yeah.
Except the difference is he approached Sega, not he just put it up online and Sega cease and desisted.
Right. But anyway, so that is, it's a bit upsetting that it's taken down, but it makes sense because of the whole, it's, potentially losing revenue for Nintendo. But hopefully Nintendo can sort of ultimately understand from all this that there is still a lot of demand for new 2D Metroids. I don't think Federation Force will do terribly well unless it reviews exceptionally, which is certainly possible, but maybe not the biggest or the most likely outcome. So I feel like this is one of the biggest ways right now that Metroid fans can show support for the series, honestly. Even more so than Federation Force. That's certainly one way to help, but don't freak out at Nintendo and buy Metroid 2.
Mm-hmm.
Although the remake was great. At least I didn't play it, but from what I've seen, it looked like the controls were great. The visuals were fantastic. Everything was really well done.
If you want, I'm sure it's still floating around online.
Oh, absolutely. You can definitely still get it. That's just maybe not the number one way to get it and play it. That's just know that Nintendo, that's not the number one way to support the series, basically.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of fan stuff,
oh yeah,
after 9 years, the RPG Maker made Pokemon Uranium is out. This one, I don't think Nintendo can cease and desist this one because it doesn't use any of their engines. Pretty much all the Pokemon are brand new, and the ones that aren't, I think there's only 5 that aren't brand new, and they use custom sprites and stuff, so I think they're fine. And even if they aren't, they can just remove those 5 Pokemon and even
Right.
call it something else. Because if it's not called Pokemon, there's literally nothing Nintendo could do then.
Yeah, like they could just call it like Uranium Monsters or literally anything like that.
Yeah. So I haven't had a chance to play this yet. It looks pretty cool. It's free to download.
Mm-hmm. I'll honestly probably check it out. Like it looks really well made and it's free, so you know.
Also the 5 Pokemon I think all have Mega Evolutions.
Oh, you mean the 5 ones that are like returning?
Yeah, I know. I just know off the top of my head one of them is Primeape and Mankey. I think it's 5 lines, not 5 Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
I should probably clarify that because that would just be 2 of them right there.
But anyway, so that game looks pretty cool. Check out Pokemon Uranium.
Put a link.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, because it's just their website.
Right. And so next up, this is no longer in Fangaming territory, but in school territory.
Woo.
Yeah, Nintendo is having their back-to-school sales. And this consists of both some system bundles, amiibo bundles, and Nintendo Selects. I believe it's a range of about 8 new Nintendo Selects, consisting of Lego City Undercover, both the Wii U and 3DS versions. Get the Wii U version. Yeah, get the Wii U one. It's actually very good. The 3DS one is not very good at all. It would actually be, just this is a bit off topic, but it would be cool if they would go back and update some of the old 3DS games for new 3DS support. Then maybe it would be decent, but also on 3DS, Animal Crossing New Leaf, yes, that's amazing. It's so worth $20. So is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Yeah.
Tomodachi Life. I guess that's, I mean, it's a fun game, but it doesn't really have lasting appeal at all. So $20 might be a decent price point for it, but I would honestly wait for it to maybe drop to about 10.
Basically, if you want a more fleshed out Miitomo,
yeah,
that's what this is. But at the same time, do you want to pay $20 for that?
Right. So if you really like Mii's, and I mean, I know this game is pretty popular with some YouTube people. Maybe if you think this game looks really appealing, I think $20 might be an okay price point. If you're on it, like on the fence, maybe wait for it to drop a little bit more. There's also Nintendogs plus Cats, Golden Retriever. Hype. Lego City Undercover, The Chase Begins. Like I said, no, don't do it. And on Wii U, Wind Waker HD, absolutely buy that for $20. That's amazing. Nintendo Land, yes. And Lego City Undercover, yes. So all 3 of the Wii U games are amazing.
I'm salty because I paid $60 for all 3 of those Wii U games.
So yeah, this is very good. Those are very good games. Like I said, there's also a Super Mario 3D Land New 3DS, which is $150. Comes with the game pre-installed and 2 Mario-type faceplates, including those Mario Maker sprite ones. And I think the Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer bundle retailed for $200 or around $200, maybe even more than $200. So comparatively, it's a really good price.
It also came with cards, though, didn't it?
Oh yeah, that's true. And did it come with figures? No, that was the Amiibo Festival bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it came with cards and maybe the reader thing. I don't think it.
I'm not sure about the reader.
Oh yeah, it doesn't need the reader. So yeah, it's a good price. I mean, it's kind of a weird time to buy a 3DS because the NX is like so close to being revealed. But I guess it's good that it's cheap. Like if you have someone who wants, I mean, I feel like this would be really good for kids because it's cheap and it's a simple, easy game for the most part. So cool bundle there. Those Mario Maker faceplates might be one of the best parts, honestly, though. And they're doing some Wii U game amiibo bundles. So they're $40 each. Yoshi Woolly World with the pink and Yoshi Woolly World with the blue. There's already one with the green. So Mario Party 10 with Peach and Mario Party 10 with Bowser. I think one with Mario already exists. Oh, yeah. And Captain Toad Treasure Tracker Toad, which I thought already existed.
Did in Europe, but not here.
Oh, okay. So those bundles are all $40. And they also advertised Mario Kart 7 with the 2DS being $80, but I don't think that's a new price. I think it's already been like that. But that price is godlike. If you have a kid who likes Mario Kart, get them that for Christmas. It's so like you're gonna get so far out of those $80.
So isn't Captain Toad normally a $40 game?
Yeah, I don't think it ever dropped in price.
So that's basically a free Toad amiibo.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Which is a good amiibo. I mean, I have a totem amiibo, but I never tried the Modem game, and it's like this weird hide and seek thing. So, I mean, if you really want a Toad figure, then like go do it. It's a good game. Anyway, so that's it for back to school, and now like we said, our amiibo news is finally back. Even though I just had a little bit of it, but this is like probably the more major, I guess you could say. So there's a child product certificate thing for Lucina, and it says that the date of manufacture. Well, there will be a new one in July and August, which is obviously kind of right now. It's kind of a weird time for them to come back. I don't really know why they chose with this one in particular, but I guess it's good that the Fire Emblem ones are getting a little bit more widespread, because those ones are often some of the hardest to seek out, even today with Amiibo being a bit more saturated. Although looking at like the replies, it does seem like people definitely want this, so I'm sure that it makes some people happy. Just a strange time for it.
Yeah.
So that's that, and I guess it's cool. I mean, she's a good amiibo. I have some friends who would definitely be interested in that.
Arms, if he was here, he'd say trash, get the Figma.
Yeah, get the, and I guess it just makes me think about amiibo and NX still. Like, I mean, I think we can be pretty confident that they're going to be supported. I just wonder, like, is it going to be on the controller again? Is there going to be a base? I hope it's on the controller. I don't know, just a thought.
I also just realized how weird it is that you can find Animal Crossing amiibo pretty much everywhere you go, but then one of the first rare amiibo was Villager.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's it for our very brief amiibo second. We have a lot of Pokemon coming up. But before that, we're going to talk, very briefly about THQ. Connor, I think you know a bit more about this than I do, so I'll let you cover that.
So basically, when THQ went bankrupt, 2013, 12, somewhere around there, a lot of their IP, not all, but a lot, were snatched up by Dark Horse, who most of you would probably know as book publishers, not game publishers.
Mm-hmm.
But they formed Nordic Games. I'm not sure if Nordic Games has actually done anything with
I don't
this
know.
stuff.
I don't think they have.
But they're rebranding Nordic Games to THQ Nordic. So there you go.
That's about it.
If you really wanted Darksiders War Mastered Edition to have THQ on it, there you go.
Yep. So, and yeah, that is an upcoming Wii U release, and also on pretty much every other platform. I forget when it's happening.
Apparently the company currently has 23 games in development, and 13 have yet to be announced.
Wow, that is a lot of games.
However, this also seems to imply they're more a publisher than a developer.
Oh, okay.
So
maybe maybe they've already published things we just don't really know about.
Yeah, most THQs, the only THQ stuff I really care about was Saints Row, which Deep Silver got, and I used to like the Nickelodeon games, which I have no idea who got those. So that's pretty much it. So that's why I just didn't pay attention to who got most of their stuff.
Right. But that's all for THQ's rising from the dead, kind of. And now we're going to go into our little Pokemon frenzy here.
Manga.
Oh, yeah. The best.
So, starting September 15th, the Pokemon Sun and Moon manga will be running in CoroCoro. So far, all we know is it follows a boy who doesn't look like the trainer at all, which I don't know. I think the manga usually have the main trainer. I haven't read any of them. Well, I have, but not very much. And he also has a Rockruff. Not any of the starters from what we can tell.
Right.
So we might get some hints of the story come September 15th. I kind of doubt it, though. Like, just looking from the bits of the manga I have read, they're pretty loosely following the game. So I kind of doubt it, but I guess this will be cool.
I agree. I love reading manga. And we also have an update on Pokemon Go. Well, and more like an update for Pokemon Go. So a few things have been fixed. The battery saver mode has been added back in and fixed. You know, the glitch that was with it is gone. Now you can use it and not worry about the glitch. Additionally, what was the other like
Grass
weird little
tracking.
thing that changed? Oh, yeah, there was the grass, but there was something else that was small.
Text files?
Oh yeah, well yeah. There's now no text file fixes, but yeah, like Connor said, there's new tracking thing, so it's kind of complicated. So there's two new types of tracking. One of them is the grass thing, which is just called sightings, and while it's not really different, so here's the thing: you cannot tap them to circle them, but what you can do, well, it's not really something you can do. It's just something that happens. Basically, this list updates much more frequently and aggressively with ones that are close to you. So whereas with the previous tracker, if you saw a Pokemon that was on there, it might actually not be that close to you. It might still be updating. You might have to close the app and open it again to update the tracker. But this one updates much more frequently and consistently, so that's very nice. I found it very easy to find the ones that are close to me using it. Additionally, something that's not available for all users but is being tested with a small select group is, I forget the name of it, but it's this thing where you can like see, like, there's the list of Pokemon, but instead of grass next to them, there's pictures of Pokestops, and basically whatever Pokestop is next to them, that's the one that they're close to. So if you tap them, you'll be able to see their approximate location on the map, which is,
That's cool.
yeah, that's the most in-depth tracking the game has basically had. Because the footprints, I think people were starting to figure out in terms of 1, 2, 3, but there was still some confusion over how it worked and the specifics of it. But this is a good method, I guess. I'm not sure if it's going to be the final method they settle on, because they said, oh, we're going to be making some tests and changes, so don't expect things to stay the same for very long. But for now, it seems like a good form and one that could potentially work well for the future. And I personally do not have that. I think it's very few people who do, but hopefully they make that available widespread soon. So, yeah. Still no update on trading or anything like that. Hopefully that comes soon as well, because it seems like they're getting a lot of the big issues ironed out finally. Like the experience thing is fixed as well, and so is the capture rate, I'm pretty sure. So they're fixing a lot of things. Hopefully trading is added soonish. And so now moving on to, I mean, that Pokemon Go thing was kind of minor, but there was a ton of Sun and Moon stuff, which sort of started as, which it kind of started as some like leakiness, I think, but then it was all officially revealed.
Well, technically Koro leaked, which, I mean,
yeah,
it always leaks.
That kind of happens all the time.
So that's not really a surprise. And then, like the trailer that had like Drampa and Cutiefly and stuff, someone started posting screenshots from the trailer onto 4chan, and then they released the trailer 12 hours early.
Right.
Hype.
That was interesting.
So let's just start with the new Alola forms, I guess.
All right, cool.
From Koro, we got Alola Meowth, which is now pure dark type and can have Pick Up or Technician. I think Meowth, that's its normal abilities. We didn't see if there's an Alola Persian. However, so far, we haven't seen any like Alola Pokemon that
evolve
can't,
different forms.
Like the first form that can't evolve into another Alola form.
No. Yeah.
Whereas we haven't seen like Alola Execute, and it kind of from the trailer, it kind of looks like normal Execute evolves into Alola Executor. But I mean, we don't know anything for sure yet.
Right.
There's also, as hinted by the website last month, Alola Marowak, which is Fire Ghost type. It can have Curse Body or Lightning Rod, which is nice because Lightning Rod used to be useless on Marowak, because basically what it does is draws all electric moves to him in double battle and gives him a ground immunity. So now he can be Fire Ghost, which is weak to ground. No, weak to electric. Sorry, it gives an electric immunity. So I guess that's not the best, but still, it's kind of cool. And
it was a cool fire. It was a cool fire stick. That's worth noting.
Yeah, he looks cool. And then Alola Raichu, which just adds the psychic type to its electric, and gets the ability Surge Surfer, which makes it so when electric terrain is out, his speed's doubled. So I guess if you're running an electric team, that's really cool because you can pair him up with Tapu Koko, which gives permanent electric field. Other than that, I don't know how much use it will get, but we also didn't see if there's an Alola Pikachu or Cubone or Pichu. I kind of doubt Pichu and Pikachu, just because for the most part, whenever there's any gimmick in Pokemon, Pikachu is either excluded from it or it's exclusive to him.
Yeah, like him having like saying Pikachu.
Or the cosplay stuff.
Right.
So I don't think Alola Pikachu's gonna exist. Alola Cubone is a maybe. Again, though, the trailer showed a normal Cubone evolving. However, both times it kind of shows them evolving and then just immediately cuts to showing the Alola form being thrown into battle. It doesn't actually show if it evolves into the Alola form or not.
Right.
But that's kind of weird to do if it doesn't.
Yeah, I would imagine it does, like, or else you would need some weird item or something. I would imagine it just by default evolves into them. And Alola Raichu, of course, surfs on his tail, which is beautiful. Someone dug up, I think it was like from Pokemon Stadium, some sort of animation where regular Raichu surfs on his tail.
If you have a surfing Pikachu from Yellow, or I guess an event, and evolve it to Raichu, and then you surf in Pokemon Stadium, he's surfing on his tail.
So there's that bunch of cool callbacks, just like the Coconut Tree Boy.
It's also a bunch of new Pokemon.
Oh yeah. So I had to look some of these up because I don't like. I know what they look like. I just didn't remember any of the names. But this first one, Nuiko Guma. Is that how you say it? I think.
Nuiko Guma.
And that's the tiny teddy bear in his baby form he wears for evolution.
Yeah, that's also his Japanese name.
Oh, well, there you go.
It was never officially revealed in English. Well, it hasn't been. It was Core exclusive.
And this guy's rather spooky, I must say. Just like his big brother, he's like this demonic little teddy bear.
He's also the first bear-based Pokemon to walk on all four legs in official artwork. Most of them are up on their hind two legs.
Interesting. Would you think I guess it's because he's like a baby, but it's still kind of cool.
Well, even Teddy Ursa is up or
true.
sitting down. It's not on all four.
Wow. Getting too real. And then there's Tsunaba, which I think is the baby sun castle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And Shiro Desna, which is the evolution.
Yep.
So these two have a cool ability that make it so when they're hit with a water attack, they lose their ground type. So they're ghost ground normally, but they become just ghost type. Which
that's pretty cool. True to real life. Except minus the ghost part. That would be weird if all sandcastles were haunted.
Yeah, basically the Pokemon is like a ghost possessing a sandcastle. It's not really it's not the sandcastle itself.
Right. And there's Wishy Washy, which is like the tiny fish, but then it turns into many tiny fish, school form.
Yeah.
Which is going to be me in 17 days.
It seems kind of weird. Like, from the Japanese trailer, we can see it, like, well, in both trailers, we see it turn into the form when it's sent into battle, and Koro says this happens when it reaches a certain level. So it almost seems like evolution that's only done in battle.
Yeah, so kind of like a Mega Evolution.
But then we also see in the Japanese trailer when like a Magnezone uses Electro Ball or something on it, it almost faints but not quite and turns back into the solo form. So
and do you think it's like do you think that's permanent, or do you think like in the next battle it goes into, it will be back to its big form? What do you think?
Probably the latter. I don't think there's any like permanent stuff like that unless like eating an item.
Right.
So, and that would be kind of sucky if you wanted to use one because it seems pretty crappy unless it's in its school form.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of suck if you have to constantly go catch a new one
Like,
because yours keeps
yeah.
dying.
Or just like maybe level it up again or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. It probably is just for that battle, and then in the next battle it'll just go back, which that makes sense. It's the most convenient way to do it.
It's also pure water type.
Mm.
So I feel this Pokemon's probably not going to be very good.
Right.
Just because if it evolved permanently, then maybe, but just because it seems so weak in its little form, solo form, and then it's not even a permanent change, I just don't think it's going to be very good.
Right. And Pyukumuku, I don't even know what that thing is. It's like a rock with
Sea
little...
Cucumber.
Oh, okay. I had no idea what it was.
Which Sea Cucumber Pokemon was mentioned in the Chinese leaks, so...
Oh, nice.
There's another confirmation, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It has innards out, which makes it so if the amount of damage it takes the turn it faints, it does to the attacker. So if it takes if it has 30 damage or HP remaining and then dies that turn, then the attacker takes 30 damage as well.
Oh, so even if it was like an attack that would do 70, but there was only 30 left, it's only how much they had left? Okay, yeah. Got it.
So, some people are planning, which is kind of awkward not knowing its stats, to make it like a counter sweeper. Because, you bring this thing in with, max HP, but really crappy defenses. So then the sweeper knocks it out in one hit.
Right. Huh. As someone who doesn't really do competitive Pokemon, that does sound like a viable strategy.
I mean, we'd have to know what its stats are.
Oh, right. Yeah.
To be able to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. And is Morlo the evolution of it, or is it separate? I don't even know.
Separate.
Okay. And it's is it mushrooms or a plant?
Yeah, it's mushrooms. It's grass fairy type, which finally, there's been 2 Pokemon lines before now that people thought should be grass fairy that were just pure fairy.
Mm-hmm.
But then it has Illuminate or Effect Spore. Pretty much every mushroom-based Pokemon has Effect Spore.
Right.
And it's nocturnal, so I guess that confirms that morning and day are back, if anyone was doubting that. And yeah.
And also, the other 2 that were revealed, Hambo and Harambe, ghost fighting, the lovely tributes to the fallen warrior. That's not actually happening, but it's a good meme that I saw circulating. So, and there's also the super edgy Team Skull
with Waifu as one of the admin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they seem pretty much like gangsters almost.
Yeah, it's weird. White. Well, they're all white.
They're like white trash.
Yeah.
And then the woman that I was talking about is apparently Team Skull's older sister. And from the text, we could see the leader. I forget his name, but him and Kukui appear to have wanted to be trial captains, but didn't make it. And
so this is the life they've chosen.
So yeah, Kukui decides to help people and become a professor and study Z moves, and this dude decides to, I don't know, looking at what Lunala and Solgaleo can do, I guess, devour sunlight.
Right. And his name is Guzma. Just look it up.
Guzma, okay. So
which gives me like Emperor's New Groove vibes a little bit.
And also, according to the official website, Team Skull members aren't even provided with uniforms. They have to buy them on their own.
So they all have some sort of weird market. So that's good to know. Maybe that'll be one of the places you go, like their clothing store. Is there more, or is that it? Oh, there's Zubat and Dragonite also.
So on the official Japanese site with all the new Pokemon listed, Zubat and Dragonite are just kind of added there as already discovered Pokemon. So no one really knows what that means right now. It probably doesn't mean Alola forms because we've seen both those Pokemon already in the trailers. What I would guess is they're just revealing Pokemon you can catch in the regional Pokedex.
Right.
But those are two kind of weird Pokemon because Dragonite's normally like a late game Pokemon and Zubat's kind of a obvious Pokemon.
Right.
So, I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's like I love Dragonite, so I guess it's nice that he's in their beer. Right? That is usually like considered to be like one that's difficult to obtain. So, yeah, and that's it. That's a lot of Pokemon. Wouldn't surprise me if there's more next week.
It's just something I want to quickly mention from last week that you guys didn't cover about Oricorio, the bird. His 4 forms are Fire Flying, Electric Flying, Psychic Flying, and Ghost Flying. And a lot of people have noticed that the Electric Flying one matches with Tapu Koko's Electric Fairy. So they're thinking this might reveal the typings of the Guardians. Just replace the Flying with Fairy. So the Guardians will be Fire Fairy, Psychic Fairy, Electric Fairy, and Ghost Fairy. So that's just something. I mean, there's not really much evidence. I don't think we know which bird appears on which island right now.
All right.
So if we find out Pom Pom Style does appear on the same island as Tapu Koko, then maybe that will get more evidence, but currently we don't know.
Right. Anyway, so our poll this week, and last week was also Pokemon related. And so our results are pretty much in.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's still 44 minutes left when we're as of recording this, but we have to record it now, basically. We asked, which Alola form do you like the most? And Ninetales probably going to win. I'm pretty sure it's been winning the entire time. It's 40%. Executor is second with 21%. Then Sandslash at 20 and Vulpix at 19. That was with 42 votes. I don't think it's going to change too much.
Yeah, I doubt it. That's a big lead. At least for Ninetales. The others might shift a little bit, but the point is Ninetales kind of swept. Or swept, I guess. And Ninetales is my personal favorite of these. Executor, I think, was very funny and memey. I just don't know if I legitimately like it as much as some of the others. I mean, I definitely think it's creative, but Ninetales for me is my personal favorite. I just think it's so majestic.
Yeah, I agree. I really like Executor just because I've kind of always liked him, but he's been really irrelevant because he's just so bad.
Right.
So I'm really hoping this makes him good.
Because he's dragon type for some reason.
Even like moves, like I don't think he gets very good moves, and his stats aren't all that good either. So I just hope this makes him good.
Yep. Anyway, Connor, you can introduce our next poll, which is very similar.
So it may seem familiar, but we're asking which Alola form is your favorite. So unfortunately, there's not 7, so we can't make you reply with #7fave Alola forms. Actually, there is 7 in total, so go ahead.
Yeah, in order.
But the poll is Raichu, Marowak, and Meowth. Sorry, we're uncreative, but using basically the same poll twice.
Right. So let us know. Give a reason if you want, because that's always fun. If you could just say surfs on its tail, that's good. I would agree with you there. Or it looks like Sonic.
Or the sass.
Yeah. So that's our poll, and it's a good poll. I'm looking forward to those results. I really don't know, because it seems like a lot of people like all 3 of them. I think Marowak will lose, though. He just seems like the least talked about. From what I've seen. I'm not sure.
That might also be because we had been fairly certain it was coming, whereas the other 2,
true. Yeah, these were more of a surprise. That's true.
Oh, also something about Meowth. I forgot about that. People noticed. So, you know how you supposedly moved to Alola at the start of this game?
Mm-hmm.
So something people have noticed is in one of the earlier trailers, your mom has a Meowth, like a normal Meowth.
Right.
So some people are thinking Meowth might be used as like the tutorial for Alola forms because you'll see like an Alola Meowth and be like, "What's that? That looks different from my mom's."
So like maybe in. Oh wait, so you think you start the game not on Alola, basically, or
I
like
think it's like
how
Hoenn,
would
where
that?
you start where you're moving in.
Okay, I see. Got it. Neat. Um. So yeah, that's our poll, my friends, and we have some pluggies, right?
Yeah, so go read my Planetarian review. Not the one I did like 2 years ago, the visual novel, but the one I did of the recently ended anime. Hype, hype.
What?
And go watch Food Wars Season 2, Episode 7. And also, I'd just like to point out that Arms and Kudo apparently can't read. Desert has one S, Desserts has two S's.
Mm-hmm.
The Google Doc only has one S.
Oh man, that's a travesty. The way I remember that is if you spell desserts, the food backwards, it's stressed, and so if you eat desserts, you become not stressed. So.
The way I remember it is dessert you want more, whereas desert you want less.
Oh, that's true. Good point. That's good as well. That's probably easier because doing it backwards is just very cumbersome. Yeah, that's a fun spelling technique. That's our specialty here on Nintendo Unleashed.
I find it weird that Kudo knew what the game was, but not what it was called.
Mm. What a bizarre world we live in.
I don't know. That was just kind of weird to me.
Yeah. Anyway, be sure to check out our BlazeKick Patreon page, where if you pledge us some money, I believe at least $1, you get exclusive access to things like our monthly BlazeKick podcast, and that is never released to anyone else who's not a Patreon. So, like, if you want to hear that, you have to listen. Our last one was great. I talked about food of the year.
There was a little clip, I think. Uploaded to YouTube.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to preview, just check out our YouTube channel. Should be pretty easy to find. What other benefits do $1 Patrons get?
You get Unleashed, PlayStation Point, and maybe Podcast Scorpio. I have no idea. 24 hours early.
Nice.
So if you want to listen to Unleashed on Saturdays instead of Sundays, then there you go.
Right. So it's basically like the ultimate Nintendo Unleashed podcast experience. Yours for only $1. Well, not just Nintendo Unleashed, just general BlazeKick podcast experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only $1. It's pretty great.
$1 a month.
Well, yeah. Really adds up, huh?
I mean, eventually.
Oh yeah,
but
eventually. Yeah.
That's only $12 a year.
Right. I mean, if you want to pledge, we appreciate it. Hopefully we'll eventually get enough for better equipment. That'll take a while though. Anyway, also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you may be listening to right now. That is youtube.com/BlazeKickMedia. You can subscribe on iTunes and Google Play Music, or leave a review, or both. You can follow us on Twitter. The main account is at BlazeKickTweet. This podcast is at Nin Unleashed. I'm at Dashy007.
I'm at Guy Fieri.
Mm-hmm. Yes, go follow him for some good recipes. What did I say? Dank recipes? What was the quote?
Follow Guy or visit BlazeKick.com for many Guy Fieri recipes.
Oh, okay. And you thought I said rest in peace or something
Yeah.
like that. All right, that was good. Yeah, follow us. And of course, visit BlazeKick.com for quality anime coverage and copies of our podcasts.
Hype.
And be sure to share this episode if you enjoyed us talking about all these crazy new Pokemon. It's pretty exciting, and hopefully we'll have a bunch more to talk about next week as well.
Too many Pokemon.
Yeah. Maybe.
Probably because Worlds.
Yeah.
They usually reveal stuff at Worlds, so right. Yeah, there probably it will be.
Mm-hmm. Maybe even more than this week. Who knows?
I don't think, because like at the French thing, Salandit was all, and I think when X and Y were a thing, it was just Mega Kangaskhan.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I forgot to mention that, but Worlds is happening this week.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. And isn't it also like no longer a public thing?
Yeah, you can only get in if you're a competitor, a competitor's family member, which you need proof of. Obviously, you can't just be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm this guy's family dude," or if you're specifically invited, so like a commentator or press or something.
Mm-hmm. Or a YouTube personality.
I think they're counted as press.
Oh, huh. All right then. And yeah, and I guess this is where trading card game happens. That's like the big thing usually, and of course the actual Pokemon video game competitions as well.
And there's Pokken this year.
Oh, nice. And didn't last year they kind of did like a test run because the game was the game even out yet when they did it last year?
It wasn't. I believe they did have arcade cabinets to
Okay,
test out, though.
right. Yeah, I remember something definitely did happen last year with that game, but this is the first one where I guess they can use the Wii U version.
Yeah, and they can actually do a tournament because people have played it.
Right. And that is it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening, and be sure to go to the poll.
Hype, hype.
Pokemon Go to the Blaze Kick polls.